What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be showing you a powerful AI lead generation chatbot and how you can get into building one. Here's a demo. So here I've deployed the chatbot to website Sanlam. They handle wealth management, investments in East Africa and beyond. So here's the demo. Click on the chat bubble, start a new chat. Hello, welcome to Sanlam. My name is Zawadi. How can I help you? So let's say I want to learn more about Sanlam. Sanlam Wealth Management is a boutique firm dedicated to helping you preserve and grow your assets. So let's say I have a question. What services do you guys offer? Sanlam provides comprehensive financial planning, investment management, retirement planning, all that. So let's say, what's the differentiating factor? Sanlam Wealth Management is a boutique firm that combines cutting-edge financial technology with personalized service. Our experienced advisors. How will you ensure safety of my investment? We employ rigorous risk management practices, including diversification strategies, regular portfolio rebalancing, all that. How often do I get updates on my investments? Quarterly reports and periodic meetings with your advisor. Okay, so let's say I'm ready to get started. How do I get started? Say my primary goals is to invest my capital. Financial plan, yes. My current income, let's say $300K to $1 million. Do you have any existing debts or loans? No loans. What is my full name? That's my email. That's my phone number. And that the chat ends. And if you go to our CRM, which is Airtable at this moment, you can see there the record has been added: my name, email, phone, goals, budget, income, and if I have any debts. So yeah, that's it. A question you're asking is, how can you get into building such? Let me show you. So we're building the chatbot with VoiceFlow. So go ahead and log into your VoiceFlow account and you'll reach your dashboard over here where we'll click new agent. So give it a name. So let's say language English, continue, create agent. Okay, so what you want to do is just zoom out and delete all this default template stuff. Then we can get right into it. So we're building this from scratch, so pay attention. So first we start with a text message just to welcome them. I'll have it there. Hi, hello, welcome to Sanlam. Then another text message of, I'm Zawadi, how may I assist you today? We can generate 3 variations of that message so that it's not so static. We can verify we're okay with this. Then we can just control enter to save all of them. Then we can put in some buttons just to guide them through the flow. So the first button will be for getting started. Okay. Second button to learn more about Sanlam. And third button is if they have a question. Okay. So we'll start with the simple one. So learning more about Sanlam. We'll just have a text message over here and just some details on Sanlam. So there you go. That's Sanlam Wealth Management is a boutique firm dedicated to helping you preserve and grow your assets. And I can add another text message. There you go. Our experienced advisors work closely with you to develop a comprehensive plan, ensuring your assets are managed effectively. So we can move on. Then our final text message over here. So then we'll have some buttons here. One to get started. Another if they have a question. Okay, so if they want to get started, we'll leave the flow to this block over here where we just put in a text message telling them, awesome, we'd be glad to help you grow your assets into the future. Another text message, let's get some information and a member of our team will reach out. Another text message now to ask them the question, what are your primary financial goals? Then some buttons just to lead them in their answers. So let me just create some space here. So the first button is if they want to grow their current wealth. The next button is if they want to invest their capital. And the final one, if they want to preserve their capital. Okay, so in any case, we want to save whatever they choose to a variable. So what you want to do is go, let's say, to this first button, click actions, then set variable, then variable set. We'll create a new variable. So, and this variable, we'll call it goals. Control enter. Then you can set goals, then save that, control enter. Then you can minus that, go back to it, and do the same thing for the other buttons. So let's just copy this, invest capital, then go to actions, set variable, goals, set goals, have it as a string, invest capital, then control enter to save that. Then you can go back, do the same thing for preserving capital, preserve capital, control enter to save that, minus that, then go back. That's good. Then we move on to the next flow. So the next question is if they have a budget. So we'll have a text message. Do you have any budget? Then some buttons. First one reads yes, add button, and no. Okay, then we want to attach an intent for in case they don't click the button but they actually just type in yes. So we'll attach an intent of yes. Then for the no one, we'll attach an intent of no. Ensure you save this information to a variable. So if they click yes, actions, set variable, variable set, select variable, create a new variable. Let's call this has budget, control enter. Then let's come here, set it to yes. Okay, control enter, then minus that, go back, do the same thing for if they click no, control enter to save it. Then we move on. So next question is in regards to their annual income. So we'll have a text message. What's your current annual income? Have some buttons there so that they can choose their bracket, their income bracket. The first one is if they're between 0 to 100k. Next one, between 100k to 300k, 300k to 1 million. Then the final one is 1 million plus. Then what you want to do is actions and save whatever they pick to a variable. So set variable, create a new variable, income, control enter. Then we can set the income here to control enter, save that. Let's go to the next one. So we'll just copy this as is, actions, set variable, income to 100k to 300k, control enter to save that. Let's do the same thing for the rest of them. A string which is 1 million plus, control enter. That being said, we have to move on. So the next one is a question if they have any debt. So a text message. Okay, and also just to be clear, just ensure all these flows are moving on to the block. So let me delete that and ensure it's going to the block itself. Then do the same thing for these other ones. And note also, this is just to show, this is an example tutorial, but because in reality you could want it if they click 0 to 100k they go to a certain flow, if they click 100 to 300k they go to another flow. So this could be different, such that you want maybe if they go to 300k to 1 million, we ask them some more questions or just something to qualify them further. So this dependent on your unique scenario. So here we'll have some buttons for them to pick the kind of debt or if they actually have a debt. So mortgage, they might be having some school debt, they could be having multiple loans or even another kind of loan that's not listed, or they could be having no loans. Okay, so what we want to do is to save whatever they pick to a variable. So actions, so first let's copy mortgage there, go to actions, set variable set. Then let's create a variable called debt. Create that variable and set it to a string of mortgage. Control enter. Let's do the same thing for the rest. Now we get into asking for their personal details, so their name, what's your full name. Then we have a captcha block to capture whatever they pick or whatever they say. Let's save this to a variable. Let's give the name of the variable to name. Create variable. Then we can lead on to asking for their email, so a text message. What about your email? Then a captcha block to capture whatever they say. And since they might reply with something like my email is mutiso@gmail.com, we just want to capture mutiso@gmail.com. So for that we'll use something called entities. So you click there, create new entity, give it a name. So I'll call mine email. Then select the data type to be email. Okay, then create entity. So and a no match, so go click no match, add a path for that. So if in case they put in a wrong email, the AI will be able to tell that. Then we can ask them to actually put in the right email address. There you go. Then we lead it back to that captcha block, okay, so that we can reevaluate if they've provided the right email. So next is asking for their phone number. There you go. Then a captcha block. Same case, this is an entity of type phone, so let's give it a name of phone. The data type is a phone number, so click that, create entity. Then add a no match, so if they put in the wrong phone number or a number that doesn't seem like a phone number, so we'll go ahead and tell them to do that correctly. So a text message there, kindly enter the correct number. Then we lead it back to the input field. So in case they put in the right phone number, we want to save their details to the CRM. So this will use a function. Okay, create new function. Create function. So here I'll first start by deleting that and this return statement over here. So I'll delete that so that I can start afresh. Also, I know the low code, no code guys, don't scream at me. I'll try my best to make it easy to understand. So first of all, let's have it as create the variables that we'll need. So input variable, so we'll need the name that's been collected from the chatbot, the email, the phone, the goals, has budget, that's if they picked they have a budget, the income, and finally we'll need the Airtable token, because in this case Airtable will be serving as our CRM, but in actual case we can save this to whatever CRM it is, whether HubSpot, whether Salesforce, whether Zoho, all that. Okay, so in this case Airtable token. Then add some paths. So the first one is when there's a successful adding of the record and if there's an error, so error. Okay, so first we'll start by obtaining all the variables that have been collected, variables that we'll be using within the function. So this is standard way of starting any function. So Control X that, come and paste it in here, so that it's args.input variables. Then whatever we've listed here in the input variables, ensure you're obtaining them here, all that. Next we'll have a try catch block, so that it tries to make an API call and add the records accordingly, and if there's any error it's going to be able to capture the error, okay, then do something. Okay, so let's start by first making the API call to Airtable. await fetch. So we're going to call the Airtable database. For this, we'll go to Airtable. So this is Airtable database we are using. You can see the fields that we have: name, email, phone, goals, has budget, income, and debt. And what you want to do is click on your profile, build a hub. So you'll go ahead and create new token. Okay, give it a name, whatever it is you want. I called mine wealth management. Then add all the scopes over here. So you'll go ahead and add all these scopes, and once you've added all of them until you see there are no more, you'll attach a database. Okay, and the database you want to access is Innovate Wealth Management. I misspelled it, I know it was meant to be Sanlam. Then you create token. It will pop up with your access token. Copy it and save it somewhere, because you'll need it within the VoiceFlow chatbot. But since I already have one, I'll just cancel that and move on. So after having your access token, click Developer Docs, scroll to Web API, API Docs, scroll down and click on the database you want to access. Then you'll click on the table you want to access. CRM table is the one I want to. Then create records. Then you will copy this URL as is till there, and is what you will come back to your VoiceFlow and paste it in there. So quotes, then paste it in there. Then after that, have a comma. They want to pass in more details into the request. So it's a request of type post, because we are creating a new record. In the headers, we'll pass in our authorization, which is our access token that you've been able to create. Copy and I'll show you where you'll paste it in, but in this case just have this code as is. And also the template will be provided, so don't worry about this code. I'll provide everything on in regards to this template. Then the content type, application/JSON. This shows the kind of data that will be passed in the body payload. Then that's the body that will pass in. So you see here, we are first turning it into a string, okay, ensuring that's a string, then passing in the following object. So fields, and these are the following fields that we want to create in our Airtable record. So name is equals to name, email is equals to that, and so on and so forth. So after here, we want to capture the response and turn it into a JSON object. Okay, then here we want an if statement to check if the response JSON is there, so it is not empty, and also it has an ID. So this means an actual record has been created and that has happened successfully. So if that's the case, we close the function from here. So by doing return, then return the following. So we'll follow next. Then the path we want to follow is success. Okay, then else means that there wasn't a record that was created, therefore that means that response JSON is empty, or the response JSON.id is empty. So for that, we'll return. So we'll exit the function from here and follow the following path. So next, path of error. Okay, then after the next, we want to pass in some trace, and this is trace of type debug, and the payload is a message saying error creating new client record, and we pass in the actual error message. Okay, so we'll do the same thing for if we go to the catch block and there's an error within the function. So it's just the same thing. So I've pasted it in here. So you're seeing error, and here is error creating new record, and we pass in a trace of type debug. Okay, so yeah, that's it. So what we do is go back to the workflow. Then here we'll select a function, save client records, and you can see the input variables you had created. Go ahead and paste in your access token that you had created from Airtable. Paste it in here. Okay, then the income, we'll just pass in the variable income that you had created, and do the same thing for the rest. So here apparently I forgot to save the phone number and the email accordingly, so I'll just exit, come back to here to the capture block that's getting the email. Then actions, set variable. They will create a new variable called client email. Okay, create variable, then we'll set it to the email entity that we had created. Okay, control enter, then we lead the flow to the next part there. We do the same thing for the phone number. Client phone, so we'll call it client phone. And set it to the phone entity we had created. Okay, control enter. Minus that, then let's move on. So let me just move this a bit so that you can see that and lead it to the flow accordingly. There you go. Then we can come here and insert the variables accordingly. So here phone. Okay, there you go. Then if it's a successful adding of the record, we'll just send a text message. Thanks name for the information. You'll insert the variable there. So it will be like, thanks Mutiso for the information. Then another text message. One of our team members will be in touch. And the final text message. Thanks for choosing Sanlam Wealth Management. Then from here we can just end the conversation. So actions, end. So that's when they want to get started. We get their information and save it to the CRM or our Airtable database. The next is if they have a question. So if they have a question, we lead them on to this block where it's a text message. I'd be more than happy to help. What's your question? Then we generate 3 variations of that. Then verify if they are correct and you're okay with that. Then we can just save it. Control enter to save, then exit. So then we want to have a captcha block to get their question. In this case, we want to save it to a variable called, okay, control enter. You could decide to just use the last utterance variable, but I think sometimes I like it this way. So next, we'll have a set AI step that will classify their response to see if it's a question or it's showcasing that they're interested in getting started, okay? Because you don't have to display buttons every time asking them if it's a question or if you want to get started. You just want to have the AI classify that for it to just be conversational, okay? So this, push it on there, set AI. I'll paste in the prompt. You have to classify the following user question, okay? If the user is asking a question, return question. If the user has shown interest in getting started, return interest, okay? Then we want to apply whatever the AI determines and classifies to a variable called is intent. Okay, control enter. Then in the prompt settings is where the magic happens. So I'll paste in the system prompt. So you can pause and read on to that. What I'm just doing is giving it a role and the behavior it should follow and the kind of task we're expecting from it, okay? Then we give it some examples here, as many examples as possible. This is called multi-shot prompting. Okay, then note you have to return the word interest or question only, nothing else. Now take a deep breath and classify the following user response. So we put in the user question and have the AI give back a response. For this, we can just do a quick preview. Let's say they say something like, what's the minimum investment to get started? See, it returns question. So let's say now, how do I get started? You can see it classifies it as interest, okay? So after that, we want to have an if statement. So logic, add a condition where the variable is intent contains the word question, okay? Enter. Then add a condition where is intent contains interest, okay? Enter. So if it classifies it as a question, we'll have a response AI for the AI to give back a relevant response based on information in the knowledge base. So I'll paste in here the question. So use a question. Okay, and it's critical you have it as knowledge base, okay? Then the instruction is, okay, so That's the instructions. And now you're asking where's the knowledge base, so I'll exit out here so that we can add the data that we have on this business to the knowledge base. So that's a PDF document. So a shortcut to go to the knowledge base is Shift K. Okay, so I'll come here to the knowledge base, add data source, upload file, browse, then I'll upload that's the FAQs document. I'll import it. So wait to see that the status has loaded completely. And just to give you a picture of how the knowledge base is structured, let me show you. So you can see it here. Question and the respective answers. So what services do you offer? The answer. You see, question, you can pause and read through it. But this I actually used ChatGPT to come up with this. So yeah. So once that's loaded, let's go back to the workflow. So here we'll override the prompt settings. Then I'll paste in the system prompt. So there you have it. You can pause and read through it, but I'm just giving it a role and giving it the behavior it should present its answers in. For example, it needs to be enthusiastic, helpful, and provide relevant responses. So you can go ahead and pause and read through the prompt. But yeah, this is also very critical. We can do a quick test. So preview. For example, the question could be, let's just use the same, what's the main investment to get started? Let's generate that. And if you scroll up, you will see the response preview. The minimum investments required to work with Sanlam varies depending on the specific services and so on and so forth. So yeah, that's working accordingly. So if the AI doesn't get a response from the knowledge base, we'll follow this not found path and we'll just tell them frankly that we don't have a response. Okay, is there anything else I can help you with? We'll have some buttons for either yes or no. No. And then we attach an intent, so in case they just type in the word yes, we can be able to capture that. And also here, if they just say no or nah, we just attach that intent. So if yes, we'll just tell them to go ahead and ask. Okay, then we'll forward them to the block where it's capturing their question. So for that, I think I mentioned earlier in a previous video that it's good practice to be naming your blocks. So I'll go ahead here and call this block capture user response. Okay, so at here we can just go actions, go to block, then we want to go to the capture user response. Okay, if they say no, we just tell them a text message. Okay, great. If you need any further assistance, I'm here for you. Then we end the chat. Actions, end. Okay, so here if the AI gave back a response, we just want to lead them back to the capture user response so that the user can ask another question. So go to block, capture user response. Then here, if the AI notice that the intent is being interested, we'll take them to get started. So go to block. So I didn't name the block accordingly, so I'll go ahead and name it up. So I'll go back here. So let's name the block getting started. Okay, so select block, and the block we want is getting started. Getting started. So yeah, that's it. So we'll just lead the flow from, if they just click I have a question from the beginning here, we need to take them to this block down here. So let's do that. Okay, and also here I like it just to come into the main block. Okay, and if they click let's get started, let's take them to the block of getting started. Okay, so yeah, that's it. Let's do a quick test. So S to reach the start, that's a shortcut, S. Then press start. Since it's the first time asked, let's just train the agent. If you see it had appeared here as red, ensure you train the agent. So that means there's some intents that needs to be trained into the chatbot. Trained 100%, so I'll press escape. so that I can go start again. You can see here in training is blue, agent fully trained. So let's say I want to learn more about Sanlam. You can see it there. You can read through that. Let's say I have a question. What's your philosophy? Our philosophy at Sanlam Wealth Management centers on creating diversified, risk-adjusted portfolios that align with each client's financial goals, all that. Let's say yes, retirement planning is one of our services. We'll help you determine your retirement goals, develop a savings and investment strategy, all that. So let's say I want to get started. Awesome. What are your primary financial goals? Let's say preserve capital this time. Oh, I forgot here to attach the pathway as intended, so I'll just exit and ensure this is attached accordingly. Okay. Then also here I'd forgotten to attach accordingly, so I'll do that. So press S and let's go and start it again. So you can go directly into getting started. Preserve capital. Do I have any budget? Yes. What is your current annual income? Let's say 1 million plus. I'm a rich man. Do I have any loans? No loans. What is my name? Let's say. What about the email? There. And finally the number. There you go. There you have it. Thanks Alex Mutua for the information. One of our team members will reach out to you. Thanks for choosing Sanlam Wealth Management. And if you go to the CRM, which is Airtable, you can see the record has been added. Alex Mutua, the email, phone number, goals, if you have a budget, and the income. Oh yeah, and here in debt it hasn't added, so it means here we didn't do something right. So just go back to the flow. If I go to the function here, I don't pass in the debt, so you see here in the input variables we don't have that, so I'll go back to the function, add the input variable of debt. Okay, then go back to the workflow. Okay, then here in the function, ensure you add the debt in. So debt, then with this should work. So we run the chatbot again, get started. There you have it, and let's confirm with Airtable if this record has been created. There you have it. So you see Nemo and Boy, all those details, phone, goals, has budget, income, and you can see the debts has been collected. So yeah, that's it from me. If you'd love such a system built for your company, feel free to click in the link in the description where you'll visit our website and book in a meeting with our team. If you want access to the resources, there'll be a link in the description, the actual template itself, and all that. Till next time, stay survey. Peace.